Hello and a very warm welcome to Her Space. In this podcast, we'll bring stories from mothers across Africa on different topics. And as I said last week, this whole month, April, is the Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. And as a mother of a child who is in the spectrum, I am so excited to be able to meet other mothers and to be able to meet different people who are in the space, young adults who have who are living in the spectrum, moms and dads of children who are in the spectrum, advocates, and many people who are doing different initiatives to accelerate awareness and advocacy in this country. So most welcome. Please remember to like, subscribe and share. And I thank you so much, our followers who have been faithfully following and supporting this podcast. Thank you so much. So I have a very special guest in the studio today. So excited. Miss many things, Miss and Mrs. Universe, Miss, a beauty pageant. She holds many crowns. Do I even know how to introduce you in those whatever, Sylvia?
I will
allow you to introduce yourself. And Sylvia, look at her, so pretty, so glamorous, girl.
What a glam.
You look
I'm just
so
being
nice.
typical, basic.
This is basic, eh?
Yes.
Mary, this is basic, Lord. Okay, because for me, this is like 8 extra. But we are Kenyan, so this is a lot. But you're so beautiful.
Thank you.
You're so amazing, and you're doing so much, Sylvia. We admire you. You're encouraging so many of us who are coming after you. So, karibu sana. Most welcome to Her Space.
Yeah.
I am so excited that you made the time because your hands are extra full. So thank you. We are totally honored.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll let you introduce yourself so that you do yourself good justice.
All right.
Yeah.
So my name is Dr. Sylvia Mochabo Akinsiku. I'm a mother of 3 boys, and 2 of my boys are on the autism spectrum with a comorbid of intellectual challenges and epilepsy. On the crowning side of things,
Yay.
I am your former Miss Africa 2020 up to 2022, Queen of Africa 2022-23,
Go.
Mrs. United Nations 2023, and Miss Universal Empire Global number 3 in the world, crowned in the UK. And in all this, it's all for one thing: advocacy for autism. That's what is the benchmark for it. Like getting the platform to air and raise awareness. I've served in the National Council for Persons with Disabilities as a representative for both caregivers and OPDs for the past 3 years. My term ended last month, and we've seen great strides. I am happy to say that was one of the greatest impactful positions I have held because of my children, because I had to change my career. Officially, I'm a graphic designer and a brand consultant.
OMG.
So now I use my skills in graphic design to raise awareness and advocacy and design inclusive spaces. So I do interiors and setup of therapy centers and sensory spaces across the country.
Wow, you're doing so much.
I
I know. And you didn't even say that you also have Andy Speaks.
Oh, yes, I am the founder.
Oh my God.
Inapita tu. Now you're not default. That's the name, like people call you Andy. And I'm like, no, I have a name.
Even in my phone, I've said Sylvia of Andy Speaks.
So I'm the founder of Andy Speaks for Special Needs Persons Africa. I sit in KICD. I sit in Nairobi County. I sit in MOH. And let's just say I'm trying to change the narrative in all ways possible through Andy Speaks, supporting caregivers and designing programs that are things from lived experience. That's the one thing that no one can take away from you.
Exactly.
The challenges you go through raising your children. And I also serve in WHO, World Rehabilitation, External Relations.
Oh my God, it's for standing ovation. But we can clap. Yay! You have done so much. You are such an inspiration. And thank you so much. I mean, one woman doing all that. Amazing. Well done.
Thanks for my ADHD. That's
what. See, it's your.
That is the.
Last week I was told it's a superpower now.
Yes, it actually is. When you look at it, you know, when you can't explain how you're able to do some things, how things are different, how you see things differently.
Yeah.
But mine was a late diagnosis. Although when I started researching about autism when I was raising my kids, I was like, why does this sound like the story of my life?
Oh,
but you know, as moms, we put
Yeah.
ourselves second.
Yeah.
At that point in time, it was
Yeah.
about the boys.
Yeah.
So later is when I was like, and you know, it's very expensive to get diagnosis as an adult.
Yes.
And also getting
Does it
the
even
right
happen
person.
in Kenya?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Not really in Kenya. Like the psychiatrist is in Kenya, but the tests are UK based.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was, it was a mixed emotion in terms of like, oh my God. Okay.
How old were you when you got the diagnosis?
Just 40.
What?
Yes.
So
it was actually last year.
How did that feel? Like you had lived all your life?
You know, when it was the boys, it's something that I've had time to process over time.
Yeah.
And then it was a conflict because you're like, does that change who I have been all my life?
All this time, yeah.
Does that change if I say it? Does it change how you look at me and the person you've known?
Yeah.
But for me, it was a relief that a lot of things and the challenges I went through in life that I couldn't voice made sense. All the conflicting what do I call it? Like we said, the strengths.
Yes.
I was like, no wonder I can do this other people. No wonder I can hear so much other people can't. I would smell something and people are like, what are you talking about? Then they'd catch up later. And I can even hear my kids. The superpower element of it is like now that super hearing is what has saved my children's lives because I can hear when they're having a seizure. And in my sleep, I can hear the change in their breathing.
While you're sleeping next to them?
No, in another bedroom.
What? And it's not like through a monitor?
No.
You're hearing it from?
In my sleep.
Wow.
Like, and then there is a high level of sixth sense that you always have and noticing all the small changes. And it makes me good at my career because as a graphic designer, you need, so I'm in terms of, I will never repeat. Like, I tell you this logo you've designed has been designed by someone else. I have seen it. Wow. I'm bad with names, but if I close my eyes, I can sketch and write whatever it is I'm trying to say. So there is a lot of that and identifying mistakes. So correctional things like, and puzzles. You know, the way they tell you, identify whatever. Me, I do it in 1 second or 2 seconds, while someone can live there looking for those things. So there is a lot of good in it, and also being an audiovisual learner. Let's say it helped me.
What's an audiovisual learner?
So if I hear something, I will not forget. If I see something, I will not forget. The downside of it was like, forgive me for this statement.
Yes.
Those who want to hate me will hate me for it. But when I was in Alliance, it was a whole new different way of life. Like you went to
Alliance?
Yes.
What?
The challenge was...
Beauty and brains, right?
Yes.
Wow.
We changed the narrative.
Girl!
So,
so proud of you.
When in primary school, it was very easy for me. Like life was super easy. When I went to high school now, and then now we are meeting all different types of people.
The from teaching the whole country because it's a national school.
Yeah, there's the pressure. Then there is the element of style of learning has changed. We are writing everything the teacher is saying. And for me, that having to multitask so much and still process was overloading my brain. So I dropped from tier 1 to like almost commercial. And you know, your parents don't understand. I don't understand what's happening because I know I was in class, but I was always struggling. So now later is when I realized, like, even challenges with, I'd rather handwrite, but handwrite as I'm listening in some things, it's like very situational. But if it is drawing and
you're
whatever,
better listening and seeing.
And like I'd rather focus and see than now I'm
notes.
trying to see, I'm trying to write, it was too much. It was too much. So that means you're playing catch up
with
others
kids
later, because you can't really like process all of it. Because like if I want to ask a question and I still have to write, if I ask that question, I'll miss out on what was said next, because my head is processing 20,000 things behind the scenes. So it was a very hard thing to do. But the one thing that was advantageous, I would never get 0 because so long as there's a diagram, I will sit 100.
Drawing the hat.
But then I
biology.
Yeah. For
and
me
the
now,
digestive
I know
system.
I can draw all those in my sleep.
Wow.
I can draw any image. So I'm more of a creative
Wow.
than now more of this other sciences
Wow.
and stuff like that.
And that's so important,
Yeah.
Sylvia, that you're bringing it out, because I'm still getting used to calling you Dr. Sylvia, please, because I'm usually like, when someone is a doctor, please call them properly. So what I'm saying is, what the point you're bringing out is so critical, because the systems of education
Are different.
and that's where we're talking about inclusion.
Yes.
Because imagine now a child who is just 5-year-old, like my son, who probably is very good at audiovisual learning. We are not even aware.
We're not, yeah.
And we've been saying at home, he has a photographic memory, because he never forgets a thing. Like if he's doing an activity in our village and we go even so much, you know, like way later, he'll never forget where the toilet is. He'll never forget like something he was digging on a sofa, like, you know, like on a pillow, like tearing it.
Yeah.
You know, he
He'll
likes
go back to
tearing
it.
the holes. He'll just go back there and continue the work that he was doing like so much, you know, like long ago. So I see what you're saying. And so that you must have struggled.
Yes, it was a struggle. And that's why I said, when I told my dad that I'm not going to campus, he thought I was crazy.
Oh.
I was actually like, I had to hawk around Nairobi to raise funds to take myself to art school, because I decided
you
I'm
knew
doing, this
you
is what
like
I'm
it.
doing. Yes.
Was there an art school in Nairobi then?
There was just 2
Okay.
before Shangtao came. So I did audiovisual and graphics, because that's what I was good at. I got a scholarship, so I was able to take myself through it. Then, of course, later now I went back to campus.
Okay.
But then at least that I went through the process of what I want. And the thing with neurodivergence, if this is what I'm doing, it's very hard to...
And when you focus on it, you're good at it.
You're very good at it, yes. And that is a strength. The challenge is we try to force children to learn the way the system is, instead of teaching them the way they learn.
Yeah.
So that the different, like I said, there is audiovisual, we have tactile learners, we have kinetic learners. So like for me, Andrew is a kinetic learner, Bradley is a geek person. He will just be here, like, I have to touch, I have to what, I have to feel.
You know, we need a whole university with you, because please, what's kinetic, what's tactile, please, at least for my guests at home who are watching us.
So you have the audiovisual, that is straightforward. Audio is the ones who listen and then see.
Yes.
Then we have tactile, that is touching. They want to touch, to get to identify what it is. Then we have olfactory. Those are the ones who always, everything straight to the mouth. And smelling and all of that. So it's all about our senses.
Yeah.
Then the kinetic learners are the ones who are learning on the move. Like when we are driving with Andrew, he'll tell you, M-Pesa, na. He'll never, so he has both the visual memory and he will remember, this is, like, he knows very nice, to him money is US dollars. He'll tell mommy dollars. We don't deal Kenya shillings, my friend.
Okay, thank
I prophesy that is what he's going to be earning in US
dollars.
So he can identify like any currencies, not any currencies, but specifically money related items.
Bitcoins
so
and dollars and
so
stuff.
he knows all those sides, all those. He can read the word bank, and his favorite, I don't even know what to categorize it, is police. And he loves combat. Like if you want to make his day, buy him a police-related thing. So, and that's the way he knows how to, I don't know how he taught himself how to read police, but he knows how to read the word police. So like we were, like I said, I shifted, so I'm married in Lagos.
Yes.
So we had parked this place, and he's like, Mom, police. I'm looking for this cop. Man, I'm not seeing no cop.
Cops,
There was a word, police.
That's what he
in
was
front.
reading.
I'm like, oh my God, what did you just say? You know the way we celebrate such small moments. So I was like, what did you say? He's like, Mom, police. And that's how I discovered he actually can learn. Then another day I took him to a different barber shop, like at a rooftop. And he's like, bank. I'm like, I'm not seeing, like, bank? You know, he knows the Visa sign, the MasterCard. Those are the things that prompt him to say bank.
Wow.
I'm not seeing any. Kumbe, you see EcoBank, there are EcoBank towers. So Eco was hidden, it's only bank that was remaining. So I'm still trying to figure out how to teach him how to do that with everyone else, everything else. But it's a process and a journey, and we're getting there. But getting there has been not easy, not at all.
How has your journey been like?
Considering when I discovered about them being autistic and all of that, for Andrew, it started with epilepsy first.
So first of all, you're a mother of 3.
Yes.
And look at how you look nice. So tell us about your boys.
So Daniel is my firstborn. He's typical. When we started growing up, he had issues with a bit of dyslexic characteristics. I had no idea. Me, nakumbuka your time, I used to piga kelele, like you
Yeah.
cannot write like, why can't you not? It was not making sense how he would write D, because his name is Daniel. So he'd like interchange the B's, the D's, the G, the Q, the P's. So that was very stressful. And I was just like, me, I can't be a teacher. I'll kill this child. That is something I made peace with. That like
respect teachers out
teachers,
there.
I respect you.
I have patience.
All of that. Me, I know I've grown patient over time because of the boys, but hey, teaching is another level. It's another
level of patience. Yeah.
So for Andrew, he started getting seizures at like 6 months thereabouts.
That's the second one.
The second child, yes, Andrew. So he's the one who is high support.
Okay.
So we are at 14 now. We understand we're doing sentences, short sentences. You have to be very clear, concise, no complex, and then he will understand. But if you give more than one instruction, you throw him off.
Okay.
So you have to be really slow, especially if it's like on, under, there, color.
Okay.
Just take it slow.
And he's able to speak?
He's able to speak, yeah.
He spoke at 5. At 5 years?
At 5 years. He started, no, that's when he said the first word.
The first word, okay.
At 5. Then it took another 5 years to get to like 1 word, 2 words, you know, like that, to build vocabulary. And all this time he's in school.
Okay.
So investment, my friends, it is there.
Where?
High investment. Because you see, at that time I was struggling with, after I found out that Brad also had delayed milestones.
That's now the third one.
The third one is Brad. So Brad has a low support autism, but ADHD. ADHD. Wow. Someone was asking me how you keep trim. Do you go to the gym? That's my gym, man. Raising those kids is gym enough.
You've run enough to be this thin?
Yes.
Oh, we need to start running.
You don't want that. You don't want that. High metabolism contributes.
Mine, also. I can't run. I'm just like, askari shikia mimi.
So that journey, and of course, doing it alone was not also a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Because I've raised my boys alone since when Bradley was 3 weeks old. I remember that was February, before Valentine's, and being after that, it was moving out, restarting life, homelessness.
I'm sorry about that.
I had quit my job because of the intensity of all of that, trying to start a business. And I don't know how I survived, by the way. I look back, sometimes I laugh. I'm like, I used to eat 1 meal a day. Because I was 48 kgs. 48. You think I'm small?
Gen Zs, they call it kuinama. Ulikuwa unainama. They say kuinama, missing a meal.
All right. Okay. Sini wazee.
Hatuwezi hiyo lugha, hatuwezi. What?
So it was
the challenges with the children, did it influence your marriage?
Let's say it's complicated. It's multiple things, you know, and then it just eats up slowly. And it gets to a point you have to make a decision in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that has been a hard journey.
It is. Then, considering I had just quit my job and I was trying to start a business, didn't make it any easier. And the sad reality is, in Africa, most of the time after you get married, there is that thing of your friends abandon you.
They feel like, oh,
like we are
married.
Married club, so wachaneni na yeye. So it becomes a very lonely journey when you're dealing with things you have no idea of, you have no one to turn to. And remember, our parents have no idea. Like, you can't go and tell mommy, oh, now there's this autism thing. And they've never heard of anything like that. So for them, the problem was like, mbona haongei, mbona hatembei, why is it not like that typical benchmark? Because you see, the signs and symptoms of autism are a bit different. And by the time, actually, my dad was the first person to realize my son's neck was not stable.
Okay.
Me, I was dealing with gut issues from here to Timbuktu, my friend. It was hospital this, hospital that. Today is reflux. Tomorrow we are not pooping. Tomorrow we are not eating. The next day it is... Andrew has shown me things.
I'm so sorry.
So at that time, you're trying to understand, this is a different pregnancy. This child is totally different from my other child. It was like 4 years. I think I'd even forgotten how the process, like what it's supposed to be, you know. So, and then my dad is just like, his neck. I'm like, what do you mean? And then that's when you're like, oh, by the way, he's supposed to. So you see that booklet we normally get, like parents need to really pay attention to those milestones, because those are some of the key indicators. So for me, when now he got his first convulsion, you see, we were just settling from all these gastro issues. It now threw me totally off, because convulsions are something that I would not wish on my greatest enemy. It's the hardest thing as a parent. First, because there's nothing you can do. It's just sit, wait and pray it ends. Because remember, for every minute it passes, brain cells are dying, oxygen levels are affected. So it can be end and we're dead. So for my son, it used to be everything, like he had started crawling, he would forget any milestone we had. So you're back to zero. And it wasn't making sense at that time. It wasn't making sense. And the sad reality was, at that 6 months, one day when we were told to go for EEG, you know, hey, I'm not feeling well. Then you're like, oh, let me go see a doctor. Then you get there, then you're told, oh, by the way, you're pregnant. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Yeah, that's what happened.
While you're going through, while he's under 1 year.
Yeah. So I'm like, it was actually 6 months, I remember. And I'm like, I can't do this. I was like, I have no energy to deal, because this is bad news. This is supposed to be good news, but at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So after that one, I was just like, you know what, Lord, I told my mom I can't. She's like, no, just go through the process. God knows why. If you can't, we're here to help you. If you totally can't, I will adopt him as my own.
Take one at least.
And right,
since even the other one, the firstborn is also not so old.
Yeah, he was like, what?
Staircase, eh?
Yes, nilikuwa my friend. There's a time I went to there's a day I was in town. And so because of how small they were, so I used to have my son help me carry like the baby bag.
The bigger one?
Yes, the eldest. Dan would carry the baby bag. I'd funga Andrew on my back.
Wow.
Then Bradley's so tiny, so I would beba him like this.
What?
So someone, I remember one day, was like, na nyinyi mama yenu wako wapi? I'm like,
because you don't
look
like you're the mom.
Exactly. I'm like, these are my kids. What do you mean mama yenu wako wapi? These are my children.
You look like,
and that was like a wake-up call. I was like, man, I need to put on weight. My mom used to tell me,
you look like you're the big sister.
Ni kama unaenda kuchota maji na easy whatever.
These holes
used to be bad. Used to be bad. I look at some of the photos and I'm like, you could actually count my ribs if I wear like a low. It was bad. But you see, at that time, I wouldn't even notice that.
Were you in your 20s?
So much. And no, I was
early 30s.
I was late 20s.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
You got all of them. Okay.
Yeah, mi nilifanya.
Yeah.
Nikamaliza.
Yeah.
Okay, sijamaliza. I still want a baby girl.
Oh, good.
So
all the best. I wish you all the best with the Nigeria.
I will go from our mouth to God's ears.
Loud.
Yes. I need a protege of myself.
Yes, I should be very
This is the way I walk into shops and I'm like, oh my God, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
I want to do those things.
Also, I wish you all the best. Now the man is in place, so everything
the
is
rest
in place.
God, eh?
The rest
We're
God,
just waiting
yes.
for him to clear the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, all in all, that journey was one of the toughest periods of my life.
I can imagine. Hey.
I know, like before I got Andrew, there was a time life was also not so easy. I lost a child between the two.
Oh, I'm
between
so sorry.
Dan and Andrew. Or sank into depression. I attempted suicide.
Oh,
as in, it just felt like it is well. Oh, but then the part of now, in hindsight, when I was getting my diagnosis, one of the things that I'm still struggling to come to terms with that came out of that process was so it came out as neurodivergent, high ADHD, a bit of bipolar, and what is this other thing that they said? ADHD, bipolar, and anxiety. Oh. So for this time that I was trying to balance life, I started developing palpitations. Oh. So I just like hyperventilate. I can't breathe. I can't what. Oh my God. I went for all the heart tests. They even said, oh, we should do I don't know what surgery. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. This needs to make sense. This diagnosis is what now has explained why I was going through all of those things.
And nobody could tell.
So, because even after attempting suicide, when I was taken for, there is that EEG where they check your randoms. My emotional was flatline. Flat, like I had zero emotions at that time.
And that's why you could consider.
Yes, and it looked okay. But then you know the thing about when you're in depression and in that state, everything you think and do makes sense to you. Yeah. Like I was fine. See, my mom is there. They'll take care of my child. You munani stress me. I don't want to be here. Why am I being pressured that I have to have another child? Yeah. I'm still trying to handle the one that I just lost, you know? Oh, so it's you deal with so much, and that's why when people tell me how you handle, I'm like, I've seen enough to deal with whatever it is right now. Like I've been broken enough times in all ways possible that this feels like a walk in the park, for lack of a better word, not to make light out of it.
Yeah.
But you learn, and the thing about life is you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And now I'm very high on, I can identify when I'm going down a certain path and recall myself and retract and seek help.
And it's about awareness,
yes,
right?
Being aware is very, very important.
And that's what you're trying to build, because people are not aware of so many things.
Yes.
And like, I mean, if you've done so much self-work.
It takes a lot. I actually went for a program called Alabastron. That was my savior to myself as an individual, because that's where I learned to appreciate that I am an individual, then I am a mom, then I am everything to everyone else. Yeah. So it teaches you as a caregiver to take time out, refill, and then you'll be able, because there are moments when I would be violent and I'm like, I might lose it, you know, because it's not easy. Let nobody lie to you that raising a special needs child is easy. It's not easy. You can accept, you don't forget. There are days I look at a 14-year-old and I'm seeing the way people are talking about their kids can do, their kids are going, and I'm just like, that should have been my child. Yeah. My baby would be here. What could have been if this was not there? Yeah. You know, and you're allowed to go through that. And one thing I allow myself to do is, when I'm in that space, I allow myself to go through it. Yeah. You know, the thing we do as parents, you block, and then
you
block,
tell you,
and
no,
you just
should
wake
not,
up.
You know, be grateful.
Yes. Oh, you're so strong. There's nothing about strength. We are human.
We are not.
We are human.
First, I've said that word strong is, drop it very fast.
Yeah, we're women of strength.
We're women of strength. We are not strong. Yeah, we are very vulnerable.
Yes. And sometimes you just need that one person who can hear you out and listen and stand with you. It's not easy to come by. No one can promise you that. Not even your own parents can promise you that. This is your journey, your story, but how you react, act, learn and learn, embrace, not embrace. Acceptance is a journey. It's not an overnight, and it's not a destination. You can't say I've accepted. Yeah. We are at 14 and 13. I have accepted, but I have my moments of like, God, regret, like what did I do to you? Yet I know for the fact, yes, you're
the one who is
but
helping
at the end
us.
of the day, I had my wishes and dreams of what I wanted my kids to be.
Yeah.
I had education, insurance, you know, even sometimes sahi nikiendanga kulipa hiyo kitu inaniwasha sana. Napeleka wapi? We are not, you know. But I'm just like, I'll just keep doing it. It will do something. And just trying to adjust and going through the system, education, nannies, hakuna mahali ni walk in the park.
I know.
Every element of life is a challenge.
So difficult.
Every element is a challenge. Yeah. You start, you get somewhere, you get frustrated. You see, like for me, I stayed 10 years. After Tuliacho, I was like, me and my problems.
Sons of Pharaohs,
let me just deal with this. This battle is enough, you know. I don't need extra.
Yeah.
So, but then when I was ready, I got back in the game, and I prayed to God and I said, let whatever happen be a lesson of what I am looking for. And now it was even greater because I have these very delicate human beings that I have to protect. Yeah. I have to really, and the person who's coming in has to remember it's the entire quorum. Yeah. And everybody an entire full package. And every time I would say that I want to get married again, people would look at me like, Nanani, unless uende kutafuta mzungu, there is no African man who's
just had written you off.
I was written off. And then, you know, when you go and you're like, oh, I'm single, people are looking at, is something wrong with you? I'm like, no, nothing's wrong with me, by the way. Because they're like, you can't be this good looking and you're single. I'm like, it's very possible. It's a choice.
Exactly.
When I'm ready, I will do it. Yeah. As for now, I eat. I am independent. My kids don't lack anything. Because it took a lot to come from that hole that I was in to build myself, build my companies, build the organization, you know, and get to the level as to where I am at right now. Yeah. It was not a walk in the park. I know sometimes like now the new moms are like, but you're okay. I'm like, you don't know my story. Yeah. I don't have to look
but
like my problems.
Work.
It's taken a lot of work. Yes.
And you've been beaten and been down
panel
there.
Beating my friends.
Yeah. You've been pulled across all directions.
Torn apart. I remember when I was telling someone that me, if you come here, no, I am, you know, people say I'm brokenhearted. No, me, I was broken, Then the broken pieces were crushed. I'm in powder forms.
Isha.
So by the time unakuja hapa,
and then
you
the
have
powder
work.
has now been
Now you need to
remolded.
remold. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different journey of bringing in someone, considering your own children, considering how they will accept. Will you accept them fully?
Yeah.
And that has always been the guard. Like, you know, the way you think that, am I going to even start telling them? Me, it used to be like, hi, I'm Sylvia. I have 3 children. 2 of them are autistic. Now, that's, if you're living, live now.
Yeah.
Tusisumbuane, by the way.
But,
don't waste my time. I don't waste yours. This is where we are at. So if you're starting to talk to me, this is the starting point.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, and I will not be fully available. They're my priority. So as long as you're part of this, you have to learn, and you have to be ready to do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I remember a lady asking, like, on social media, that why are people afraid of dating moms of special needs children? You have no idea the level of strength you are having, and you're embracing, and the level of responsibility. Not everyone can hack it. So pat yourself in the back. You're doing it, and you're doing it solo. Yeah. So if you're looking, you have to look for high grade, hybrid, someone who has the ninios of
kufanya hiyo kazi
of handling the full shebang. Because it's not you can't be dating and introducing people to your children. They don't like change. Our kids don't like change, and they're the greatest person. You know, my decision maker was Andrew.
Wow.
Because after dating for a while, and 4 years, not even dating, giving him a hard time for 4 years. So then I said, okay, let me give you a chance. And then after a while, I was like, okay, you can now meet my kids. So I was like, okay, today you've been coming to Kenya, but then now today you're going to meet my kids and spend time in the house.
Yeah.
You know, the next day when he came, so he would come, he would go, he would come. So this day we walked in together. And then, hi Andrew, hi na. Then Andrew took his hand, took my hand, and then put our heads together. And I was like, yes, signature, you know, rubber stamp, this is the person.
He accepted.
Because the one thing we forget, like our children have very high IQ and EQ.
Yeah.
They know how to tell a good person from a bad person. Because I remember earlier I had tried to date, and the person walked in, my son walked out.
Oh my God.
Like,
I can
when
tell.
he didn't even say hi.
They're very, very sensitive.
They are sensitive, and they can tell your heart. And true to the word, this person ended up being a violent person, disrespectful, and all the things you can think about. But you see, that red flag, that was a sufficient red flag. But you know, sisi, when we are like, maybe the child is not... Alikuwa tu na mood hiyo siku.
Exactly.
But the truth is, they have very high quarters to tell good people from bad people. From the aura itself. It's like he'll always know. You know, the way we try hide our emotions from our children. My son will just say, are you okay?
They get to know.
Are you okay, mom? Are you sure?
Yeah. You're right.
You know, because they can sense it. And when you're not okay, they're not okay. That's why self-care is very, very important.
For the mothers and parents. Wow.
In general.
Hey, girl. This journey, we need many, many sessions in different spaces. So tell us more now about how, I think you've talked a lot about how you got here. You know, like the self-work. I love that you did Alabastron. I did it too. Way earlier. I didn't even know I was needing it. But now I see how much I needed it. And I'm using the tools. And I think in this podcast, we've really been talking about self-care. Because even as we're taking our kids to therapy, we also need our own therapy.
You need to find out what's your therapy. What do you do to reset?
Just talk therapy. I just like to do talk therapy. And then just, you know, like what I'm doing, this is good therapy for me. Okay. Yeah. I mean, just talking to other people. I find like it helps. Although it's really hard to get, you know, people who are like understanding what you can't really explain. I mean, if I told somebody that my son woke up at 3 a.m.
How?
They don't
What are
understand.
they looking for at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, and we didn't sleep again from 3 a.m. to...
And you woke up and you went to work?
Yeah, you still have to go to work. And this child will now start sleeping at 7 or 6, you know. That's when he's falling asleep. So someone is like, and what did you do for all those hours? Yeah, we were going around the house. We played, we just walked, you know. So I think it's a lot. And I think there's a lot of call for care for parents. Yeah, the caregivers. And I like what you're doing with them. Yeah, because they're caring and no one is caring for them.
That's true.
So for someone who is maybe, you talked about the little booklet that people used to be given for milestones, but what are some of the obvious
The most the most basics, of course, they'll be in the delayed milestones. So we have the speech, we have eye contact. See, when you're breastfeeding, your child should be looking at you in the eye. You'll find not all of them. Remember, it's a spectrum. Whatever we are saying doesn't mean that every child has to. So on autism, we have the quadrant of the behavior, of the sensory issues, of repetitive behavior, and then language, speech and language. So, and in the same quadrants, there is a lot of variations underneath. So don't be like underline one thing, then you render your child autistic. No, it has to be at least 4 items under every quadrant. So there is that eye contact. There, like you had, there was mindful, there was the shingo, holding your neck. There is the walking. Then there is the ones who walk on their tippy toes because of sensory issues when they touch down. Then you have speech. You have how they play. Are they solo players? Do they play appropriately in terms of, you see, typical girls will gravitate towards dolls, boys towards the cars and balls and etc. And when they get to those items, what do they do with them? That also matters. So some of the things that you look at. Then if they're speaking, is it meaningful speech? Because we have echolalia. Echolalia is when a child repeats whatever it is. You say hi, they'll say hi. What's your name? What's your name? So they're not processing actually what you're saying. It's just whatever you say, they say. Right? So even under speech and language, there is a whole quadrant under it. Under sensory, we have hyper, we have hypo. You see the ones who like close their eyes because they hear too much. Those ones who don't like light. So if you look at your 6 senses and they are not like the typical as expected by certain ages, then now you go seek consultation with the pediatrician, developmental pediatrician, as much as we only have 3 in the country. And psychologist is more, and this is where people get things wrong. More of the psychiatry and whatever, those are the ones now the adults see when it is higher and later. So pediatricians, developmental pediatricians, neurologists, the specialized ones are able to support in early identification, right? So, and the thing that parents also need to understand is once this thing is done, I know, like for me, when I was told you need to do therapy, me, it was the first time I'm hearing about it. I'm like a child.
For a
occupational
child.
therapy. Me, I know occupation ni kazi. Mtoto akona kazi gani, my
I
friend?
know. I got you interpreting it to occupational therapy.
Yeah, because me ile therapy najua ni AA, Alcoholic Anonymous, na when you're stressed out.
Exactly.
So you're being introduced into this whole jargon and it doesn't make sense. And that brings me to why we did the Special Needs Resource Hub. So after all these years of research, I set up a resource portal where if you go to Aga Khan, you'll find it at the neuro department there.
Oh, well done.
It is there. So that when a parent is just sitting and waiting, they can be reading and understanding. Because, you know, when you go to Google, by the way, unaweza kufa.
Well, it's crazy.
After diagnosis, you can die the things you see. So what it is, we picked the facts of what neurodivergence is about, explained if it's autism, the different elements, comorbidities, early intervention, explained what types of therapy, the different therapies, explained the education system. We have assistive devices that you can purchase. We have assistive apps that you can use to support your child. You know, I know there is the contradict of gadgets are not supposed to be there. Remember, it is monitored quality screen time. There is a difference between shika. You know, the child cries, you just give them a gadget. That is not healthy.
Them.
Exactly. So, and engaging and just being present. So all this journey, everything that I have I've experienced and found challenges, I've tried to do a program under Andy Speaks that resounds to that. In the education system, you find we go to schools and give them equipment. And then we are selling things that will help that mother, will help that child who bangs their head, the one who fidgets. We have fidget spinners, we have, you know, all these small assistive devices that you cannot find. We've taken it upon ourselves to source for them out there and make it locally available.
Well done with that. And I mean, you're my shop. That's my go-to shop every time when we have something we need.
So we try and just make it easier, because imagine if I start telling a mom at the end Amazon ukaangalie hata utaanzia wapi,
when will it be delivered, how
so it's
when you
easier.
don't even know the type. Like the good thing with your shop, at least even your people know how to explain, like if it's like a sensory mat or like a ball, you know.
So we have also now the professionals, and that's why you find at every, so the other thing we did is we've set up like 4 therapy centers in schools.
But are your centers?
Well, we have in Narani, We have, that's in Kilifi. We have in Garissa. In Nairobi, we have Kasarani Primary and Dagoretti Special.
Okay.
But we faced challenges within the system. Because
Okay.
you see, these are government institutions and government has to work with you. And then remember, you cannot separate education and health for neurodivergence.
Yes.
And that's one of the hardest things to do in this country. Have the different ministries like
align, work together, collaborate.
So that's one of my greatest prayers, that we'll get to a point of doing that, because we are hoping that there'd be that and it will be opened. But while at the council, we introduced now the support of therapy, and they've designed it in a way that at least guys are now getting free therapy. But you see, it took doing that and hammering hospitals and raising awareness that this is needed, this is important. And I thank God for putting me in that seat to guide the entire team.
This is now the board of
the NCPWD board. Yes, because you see, when you're there and you're like, what are the solutions? And someone who doesn't understand, hasn't been there, does not know what it is, will not be able to give the right solutions for the right, or rather prioritize what is most important. And we know for us, our medicine, our incontinence, like in our diapers, etc., those were key priorities. Education is expensive for us.
Very.
So all those things are now in place. So parents, please make sure you make use of this program. It's called Autism and Related Developmental Disabilities. You apply and you get the support through the National Council. But make sure your child is registered. You know, as parents, you're like, mtoto wangu sitaki awekwe label ya ulemavu. Then you're crying, I need help. The help is there. You accept, you do what you can in terms of get the child diagnosed, get them assessed. And remember, let's not mix issues. KISE is education assessment.
Yes.
Then there is the medical assessment.
Okay.
Get your medical assessment
from a professional
and government
neurodevelopmental
so that is
pediatrician.
There is diagnosis. Let me break this one down.
Please,
now that we
because,
have so we have diagnosis,
okay,
which is now what I said, pediatrician, developmental pediatrician, neurologist,
gives you the diagnosis.
That is where we say your child is high functioning, level 1, level 2 autism, or this and this. That is the, for lack of a better word, call it the branding, the diagnosis. Once you have that report of this is what your child has, now for you to be registered by the National Council, you have to go to a public institution with your medical report.
Okay.
Then there is a panel of assessors who verify, and you go with your child, and you go with your ID, you go with their birth certificate, one passport photo.
Okay. Where are the centers for that?
The centers where we have Mbagathi, we have Mama Lucy. I'll just say Nairobi, because there is level 4 and 3. So every county, if you go to the website for the National Council, they are all listed. Okay. So it's not Kazingumu. Go to the website, find in this county, these are the hospital, because it's not all hospitals that are allowed to do that. Okay. And every hospital has its day and time of the month where they do the assessment. Okay. So when you're there, then they'll do the assessment, give you a report, which is signed by the medical director. And then that is what now, when the medical report comes out later, you upload, you go to eCitizen and upload. Remember the items I said? Birth certificate, ID, passport photo, that's what you upload onto the website. And that's one of the programs that we do. We understand that it's very difficult for parents to go through this process, booking the appointment, waiting. So we run something called Neuro Caravan, one of our projects, where now like the one we did. So when we do the ride for autism awareness in different areas of the country, we set up a therapy center. We do the medical camp and disability services, which is now where we bring the council, we bring KISE. So those small things that you don't have time for. And it is free of charge. We cater for it. So you come, you get that done.
That's really useful.
And then now you're able to go simply to eCitizen, upload your things and get sorted. And then in the county we finish the ride, we pick one school in that county and equip them. So we give them appropriate assistive devices for learning. The learning equipment, we make that donation.
That's good.
That's how it is. But then now we're doing community centers. So we have one therapy center. And remember, we're changing the game of habilitation. Yes. Remember, for our children, it's habilitation, not rehabilitation.
Not rehabilitation.
So at Nexus Therapy Center, what you find is all the services under one roof, high-tech, latest therapy equipment, all of the equipment. It's not at a one room you sit, and
where
that's
you
the
throw
mistake.
all the children.
Yes, or even people say, oh, I'm doing home therapy, but is it being done correctly? Cheap is expensive, remember? But there people assume because we are based in Westlands we are expensive. No, we are not. We are cheaper than the hospitals. I will tell you that for free. We are cheaper than the hospitals.
Yeah, and even there's no hospital that has those things.
No, they're there.
Okay.
But it's the same one room, 3 things, and then you pay through your nose, and then it's taking so long.
Yeah.
What the miracles I've seen, 3 months. Our kids, we see 3 months, you graduate, they're in school, and we pass them on, and they move. Because it's about understanding, using the right intervention systems, materials, and just the environment.
Is it a whole day school, or it's still hourly therapy sessions?
We have both.
And today, by the people forgive us, because we speak, because we are in the space.
So we have a little bit of knowing what
I know, but I believe a lot of people will understand.
Okay. Yeah. So we have different programs.
Okay.
So we have the intense therapy.
Okay.
This is where it's not, remember, it's not a school, but it's an intervention center.
Yes.
Where your child comes for 3 hours therapy, multifaceted. Sensory, remember we are one of the few who have everything. Speech therapy, occupational physio, sensory integration, sensory gym, everything.
Yes. Yeah.
So your child gets to experience. So if they're having issues with vestibular, we have the equipment. If they're having, so we're not using the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah.
We adjust, we align, we meet, we sit with the parents. Are you okay? What do we need to adjust? So we also wean them off, like from intense, mild, and then they're in school.
Okay.
We open the whole day, so you can come afternoon. We have kids who come after school.
Okay.
We open on Saturday, and if you need to come on Sunday, we make room.
You make room for that.
Because remember, for me, this is about just the things I could not get my child. I don't want another child to suffer.
Yeah.
Well, we can change it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're creating that opportunity and the space for that. So we have the Westlands branch, which also takes insurance.
Yes.
We have Nakuru just opened last week.
Well
this
done.
week,
After this ride.
Yes,
well
after
done.
the ride, we opened Nakuru. So now we've changed from school-based. We're doing, it's school-based but open to community.
Okay.
So that is the first we've done, school-based and open to community. And then now we have Thika Road at Sitam coming up in the next 2 months. So what we're Thika Road, we got you.
Well done. Yeah, I had you talk about that.
So that, because we want it accessible.
What about the Ngara, or was it Ngara or?
It's Westlands. We have Westlands.
Okay.
It's Westlands. Westlands.
So Thika Road,
Sitam,
Nakuru.
We are actually in partnership with Sitam. So
that's excellent.
every will peak over time, depending on how
and
support.
Isn't that amazing for church? Because
a lot we want our children on Sunday.
They don't even go to church anymore.
That's what we're changing. So that when you go to a Sitam church, you'll be in church. During the week, your child has access. Then you see now they'll also be used to the environment.
Yeah.
So they are having access to it during the week. They have access to it on Sunday, because on Sundays we'll be opening and making sure that parents can attend church and their kids can be in a safe, accommodative
and we need the other churches to follow suit.
Yeah,
we want our kids to be happy. There's a church also called Imara on Mombasa Road. Well done, Imara. ICC.
Yes.
ICC Imara.
Even Nairobi Chapel, I believe they have.
And I was happy when my sister goes to that church, and when I go with my son, he's able to be taken care of in a nice place, and he's happy.
Yes.
When you're going to pick him, he doesn't want to leave.
And that's what you want.
That's what you want. So you can.
Have you had a church experience, my friend?
Please, do not.
Baka church becomes work, and Sunday is the only day. That's the day your nanny is taking the leave.
The day that ICC Imara were launching their church, and my sister has invited us, and then we go, and then they said, oh no, we are not opening the little class for autistic kids, because everybody is in the main church. My son was huko mbele kwa podium with the pastor.
So you had first hand.
I experienced it, and like because there were so many kids, people kind of didn't notice, but I saw my son walk across the stage very nicely. And then a nice usher was able to bring him down. Thank God he did not cause tantrums. Like, if he just decided to sit down and throw a tantrum, it would have been chaotic.
The mic is his.
Okay.
Because he loves mics and tech.
Try to get that mic out of him.
Now getting him down. And there is that walk of, I don't even know now, like sometimes you're just like, oh my God, not today, not now. Then you have to walk all the way to the front. And the daggers will receive. People, please.
Is looking at you.
Kwetu, si mtundu. It's just impulse. It's just who they are.
Yeah.
It's involuntary,
Yeah.
or like when you have them steaming and they're screaming and they don't know their voice variations, and it's just like, "Mom, we're praying," and everyone is quiet.
I know.
And they're like, "Yes, we're praying."
I know.
So then they pick the kid. So you know, like there is a lot of coping mechanisms and things that's beyond us. Even a neighbor told me, knock down, and he's like, "Can you get him to keep quiet?" I'm like,
OMG, that's the worst.
What? You know, I had our kids dictate what we do, where we live, where we do everything. Me, I had to move out because I was just like, I will either kill someone, and so help me God, because I said nisikie mlango wangu imegongwa hapa tena. It is steaming. Steaming is a repetitive behavior that they do to help them calm down, to regulate themselves. So ukija uniambie nimwambie anyamaze, kuja ujaribu kwanza. You come do it and show me how. Hata ujazaa bado, and you have the audacity to come tell me. Oh my God! I was mad. Mad.
I know.
But anyway, at the end of the day, because my son steams with sticks, wakaamua kupanda bamboo trees hapo nje. My son plucked all of them. I was like, by the way, nikitoka panda kona madeni mingi.
It's a cooling power too. I know. So and that's why we should raise awareness in our neighborhoods, so that at least, and we've been doing that in places where we live, just to educate even the kids and also the parents.
And the parents who tell their kids not to play with our kids.
Oh my God.
Autism is not contagious.
Those ones belong to Nahapo.
And I'm just like, you know what? Dunia ni mviringo.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes. If you've not finished giving birth, at the rate at which autism is coming out, just be kind. Just be kind. You have no idea.
And at the end of the day, you should be kind to the whole humanity, to everyone.
We lost our humanity somewhere, if you ask me.
No, people are selfish. And also, I agree that we have to continue raising awareness because people are not aware. So, like, you go to a hotel and your child has taken someone's soda and drank it all. You've been through that. I've been through that. And
sausage
before
they can't wait. Like when you're telling them we've ordered, wait, and then they don't know this waiting thing. I can see it is there. What am I waiting for?
Nowadays we have to go with a colorful drink for him as we are waiting for an order, because he'll be drinking he'll be eating other people's foods. Not apologetic, not even asking, excuse me, there's no excuse in their life. But I mean, I think the more we continue raising awareness so that people can understand their, and because even you and I are different, everyone is different. It's just that we don't accept that difference should be accommodated.
And appreciated.
I know. Wow, Sylvia, we need like 3 hours.
3 sessions.
But we have to have another session for also just talking about caregiving. You're doing so many things. You're taking care of children. You're also taking care of caregivers. What programs do you have for parents?
So we have something called A Seat for Her, close to what you have as space. So that is for mental health.
Okay.
Where you can see a counseling psychologist for free, and virtually. And we have something called Neurodigest. There is our podcast for Neurodigest, where we have had specialists over time, because we had a TV show before.
Okay.
So you can go in and listen. I mentioned about the online channel.
Yeah.
We have the Nexus Therapies. We have Neuro Caravan, which is the medical camps that we do. We have autism classes, renovation and equipping for the schools. And then we usually have Mother's Day hangout.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Mother's Day hangout.
I was there for the last year.
You were there for the last one,
village,
yes. You had fun, right?
It was really nice.
Because like parents are like, I've never gone out.
I've
never done this and all of that.
Yeah.
Because you need to put time for yourself. Self-care is very important. You cannot give from an empty cup. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
So where necessary, just build that that support system. We have the online community. Then we have something called caregivers of multiples for us who have more than one special needs child. So if you are a mom with more than one special needs child, there is that community.
Okay.
And when we get support, that's usually at Andy Speaks, the priority community we look at. And also for caregivers of multiples, get discounted rates at our Nexus Therapy Centers.
Oh, that's good.
We understand it's not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
So we have a subsidized rate for caregivers who have more than one child.
All that.
Yes.
And we're going to add all your handles on this video so that at least people can know how to reach you and to access the therapies and also all the initiatives that you're running. Yes. How do you manage to continue looking this good? What do you do for Sylvia?
What do? I just put myself first.
Yeah, that's good to know. What do you?
No, I one, there is genetics. 2, I think when you're doing all these things, there is no room for fat to settle. You're burning it. You're like a hamster on a roll.
Yeah.
So I think that helps with burning the fat a lot. Genetics, burning the fat, and I think God just loves me. Awezi kutesa kila mahali, my friend.
God loves you, ma, please, he does love you.
Hapo amenihurumia akasema at least let's give her something. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I believe it's also he's put all this together so that I can be a testament that God is there.
Amen.
And you can do it.
Amen.
You can go through the fire, through hell, and still come out and reign.
Yeah.
And that is what I want to be there, if anything. And in all the things we do, the greatest satisfaction, you know, sometimes think that Andy Speaks is loaded. No, it's just that I'm good in PR.
Yes.
It's just mdomo mingi. And because that was my profession, so I know how to handle it. But you find that it takes the whole community to make things work. It takes a lot of social capital, calling my friends that I've worked with in the past, like, we're doing this, come help us.
Yes.
You know, and also the fact that they've seen the kids, they've seen the boys, they've seen the changes, the growth. So they're able to like chime in and help us get to where it is that we are trying to do for others.
Yeah.
Mimi hata sijawahi pewa salary. But venye na survive, ni God.
Ni God too. He provides.
He provides one way or another.
Yeah, he does.
And he will always come through. There are those days I wake up and ask myself, why do I stress myself and I have my own burden on behalf of other people?
Yeah.
And you know, people don't appreciate you.
Yeah.
I've had parents who, you're
We
like, let me call you
appreciate
back.
you.
Like I was in hospital and I'm like, let me call you back. You know, the parent like clicked and hung up. And I'm like, you have no idea where I am. What I'm going through.
Yeah.
Just because I can smile through my own tribulations and be there for you should not mean that I should neglect my own for you.
Yeah.
They also equally need me.
They also need you.
Yeah. And I'm a mom like you. And we're still, mimi niko na double trouble.
Exactly.
Wako tu na maybe moja most of the time.
Yeah.
So us ourselves understanding and knowing that things can happen and life can change. And when you cancel out on things, we plan, God executes.
It's
Not
true.
everything we plan
It's
will always
true.
pan
Will
out.
come true.
So that level of understanding, empathy, and just love and embracing is all we can ask for the community at large.
Amen.
Yeah.
And may the Lord continue filling your cup. Amen. May the Lord continue strength and bringing the resources that are required. You know, so much grace, so much the resources that are required. Receive your flowers from us, please.
Amen.
We celebrate you completely. We celebrate you, and we are, you know, like, we honor the work that you're doing. It is not in vain. And I know the you know how we talk about purpose in church, and we say, you know, the Andy and Bradley, they had to come
for me
for
to
this
find
work
my purpose.
to be
Exactly.
done, and it has become your purpose.
It is,
and then the skills that you thought were what you're good at are being applied as you do this work. Because I love the way you do your materials also, even the way you do the naming, Andy Speaks and all that. It's really a Nexus therapy. It's really, really nice. Yeah, so thank you so much, Sylvia.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Sylvia.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this is a beginning of many conversations that must be had. And you've done so much work. One woman doing so much work.
Thank you.
So much work.
Through God's grace.
Through God's grace,
Yes.
yeah. Say hello to Mr. Akinsiku.
Oh, you said it so well. Oh my God, you're the first person to get it right at first.
Oh, is it?
People always struggle
Nigerian
with
things, eh?
Right.
He's taking good care of you.
Yes, yes.
We tell him thank you because hajaharibu.
And not about to.
You know, yeah. So and continue enjoying yourself and looking good and looking beautiful and smiling, because you know, I don't know how we are able to, but
we just smile through it all.
We do
smile.
Yeah. Yes. But I honor you and I appreciate you, and you're mentoring a lot of us. When we look at your story, we are so encouraged that you know that, you know, like, you've been able to make lemonade out of those many lemons that you are given.
Me, I make gin and tonic.
You're making gin and Lord. I am going to come and sit at your table. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. That was amazing. I've been told many times that we've come to the end of our time. I've been ignoring them. But we have to do this again.
We will.
Yeah.
I'll make time.
I think we need to, you know, like, just
it can be part 1, part 2.
Part 1, part 2, yeah.
Part 10.
Exactly, yeah. Because we need to really punch in terms of what to look out for, so that people are not ignoring.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's also a lot of even being diagnosed late, like yourself, you know, so there are people who are living with challenges. And those challenges, you know, they affect their social life, they affect their marriages, they affect how they raise their kids, they affect how they work because they're not diagnosed. So I think it is very important for us to know that even if you're older, there's opportunity to get a diagnosis, and the beginning of your journey is receiving that diagnosis. It helps you to navigate, to be able to live a holistic life. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming. What will be your parting shot to a mom out there like you who has been torn apart?
There is still strength in you. There is power within you. You can do it. It depends with what you focus on. Celebrate the small ones. Even manage your expectations. That's one of the greatest things we have to do as moms. You have to manage your expectations of your child. Love them for who they are, for where they are. Not every noise that comes to you, you have to take it. Advice is given. The choice of taking is upon you. Do your research. Ask questions. Even when you're with your doctors, ask the whys. Understand everything that's being done. Diarize what you have to diarize, especially for those who have epileptic sessions as a comorbid condition. And take care of you. You cannot be able to be there for your child because you will find yourself getting frustrated, hitting your child for no reason. You will not have understanding. So when you need to step back, ask for help. Ask for help. Is one of the greatest things you have to also train it as long as it takes. Just be honest with the nanny sessions. I have a child, this is what it is. Empower them and love them. Don't treat them any less. There are many sacrifices we have to make and understand the process. Read as much as you can because an empowered parent is equally an empowered child. And every progress of your child depends on you. You're the gatekeeper. So don't be the barrier. Be the opener of that door. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Enough said. I like that. Ask for help. Ask for help because we need community. We need community to do this. Thank you so much. We had Dr. Sylvia Mochabo Akinsiku with us in studio today talking about her journey, raising her 2 sons who are in the spectrum, in her 3 sons actually, and her whole family, and doing so much work. Sylvia is working with the government, working with the communities, working with schools, working with healthcare. One woman doing so much to raise awareness and to advocate for the people in the spectrum. Thank you so much, Dr. Sylvia. I cannot thank you enough. At her space, we have given you your flowers and we celebrate you. Never ever forget that you're loved and celebrated, and your work is seen. We see you. We see you. So thank you so much. Thank you, our audience, for being our faithful listeners. Thank you so much. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, bye-bye. Yay! Thank you so much.
Finally.
Oh, my God.